I'd like to call this regular April 3rd meeting to order. Can I get roll call, please?
Mrs. Buckley?
Here.
Mr. Kuderick?
Present.
Mrs. Lanasi?
Present.
Mrs. White?
Present.
Mrs. Roscoe?
Here.
President Frayer?
Here.
Mr. Minkevich is also present.
Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda for tonight?
Support.
Moved by Mrs. Lanasi, supported by Mrs. White. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. If we can get a motion to approve the previous minutes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from our March 27th meeting, 29th, and March 30th. Can we do them all in one motion? Okay.
Support. All right, motion by Mrs. Buckley, supported by Mrs. Lanasi. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda would be the report of the superintendent. Joel?
Thank you, Mr. Card. Members of the board, we have no personnel actions for this evening. Thank you.
Moving right along. I'm sorry to say that we do have bills for payment. I'm recommending that the board approve the bills for the period March 29th through March 30th in total of $829,793.86.
Can I get a motion to approve the bills for payment, please?
I would like to make a motion that we approve the bills for payment as presented.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. White, supported by Mr. Kuderick. Are there any questions on the bills for payment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. We have a cast of thousands tonight. Mr. Woodson has brought just a handful of the huge number of participants we have in athletics at Romulus School. Very happy to welcome everyone tonight. You're all a great credit to our district. And I'd like to just point one other little piece out as we introduce. It's not directly to do with athletics, but today we received notification that our alternative school is Michigan School of the Year.
Isn't that
Presented last.
And they've been involved in athletics and were state champions this year in basketball. We've got just really great stuff coming. Give Mr. Woodson the halo effect of that as he comes to address the board. Mr. Woodson, nice to have you with us tonight.
If you just want to grab the microphone so that the people at home
Right here,
can
Mark.
hear you. There should be a...
See right there. Not that one. See the hand one right there.
On the side there.
on the sign?
I'll find it sooner or later.
He's a coach. Everybody can hear him.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us here. Tonight is a special night. This is what we're going to do, ask all my student athletes to come out tonight. And what we're going to do, we're going to honor them. My student athletes who have achieved a 3.0 or better in the classroom. And we're going to honor them, as well as we want to give our men's JV basketball team some recognition. They had a perfect season this season. They went 19-0 under
Great.
Coach Baker. Some of our student athletes, I had a chance to talk to them today, really, because it was a late notice, but a lot of them had previous engagements. But the ones I did get a chance to contact them, and they are here tonight, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come out of your busy schedule and to be honored tonight. And what we're going to do, I'm going to run down the list. It's about 60-something kids, so if you could, please, when I call your name, your GPA, if you can just stand up and remain standing until we finish, and then we will give everyone a big hand of applause. Okay, I'm going to run down the list right quick, starting with Ronald Baker, 3.5. Antoine James, better known as Big Daddy Twan, he told me to call him, 3.2. He is also a three-sport student athlete, football, basketball, track. Shantez Johnson, 3.2. Kevin Smith, 3.7. Three-sport athlete, football, basketball, track. Landria Buckley, 3.6. Also a three-sport athlete, basketball, volleyball, track. As you might not be aware, Landria Buckley has also received an athletic scholarship to attend the University of Howard this fall on a track scholarship. Great job, Landria. Amanda Collins, 3.2. Three-sport athlete, basketball, wrestling, and track.
Wow.
We have Chelsea Irby, 3.9. Two-sport athlete, basketball, cheerleading. Veta Emmanuel, 3.5. Three-sport athlete, basketball, volleyball, volleyball and track. Alicia Long, 3.1. Two-sport athlete, basketball, volleyball. Akora Stovall, 3.5. Erica Watson, 3.8. Two-sport athlete, basketball, track. Timothy Griggs, 3.0. Javante Jackson, 3.5. Joe Karanowski, 3.2. Larry Nastor, 3.2, also a two-sport athlete, football, baseball. Cedric Smith, 3.0. Eric Smith, 3.6. Joshua Dew, 3.5. Wade Rogers, 3.6. Kevin Ferguson, 3.1. Anthony Tucker, 3.1. Jennifer Dick, 4.1. Three-sport athlete, tennis, volleyball, softball. Jessica Dick, 4.0. Three-sport athlete as well, tennis, volleyball, softball. We have Audrey Glenn, 3.3. Sarah Godfrey, 3.1. Crystal McKay, 3.4. Tiffany Penn, 3.3. Brittany Shreve, 3.1. Shakita Wilson, 3.6. Brad Burkhoff, 3.2. Two-sport athlete, football, wrestling. Dean Burkhoff, 3.3. Two-sport athlete as well, wrestling, lacrosse. Gerald Horton, 3.1. Dennis Suter, 3.3. Patrick Shutter, 3.2. Dean Gilbert, 3.5. Carl Roscoe, 3.0. Also a three-sport athlete, golf, wrestling, baseball. Melissa Burenton, 3.2. Jennifer Hunter, 3.4. Jacqueline Logan, 3.0. Two-sport athlete, tennis and softball. Courtney McDowell, 4.0. Audrielle McCulley, 4.2. Two-sport athlete, tennis and softball. Let's see what else we got. Joya McNeil, 3.0. Three-sport athlete, tennis, volleyball, softball. Desiree Yates, 3.2. Derek Bennett, 4.1. Alfonso Garcia, 3.6. Christopher Neiman, 3.0. Fillmore Bowles, 3.6. Steve Halls, 3.6. Three-sport athlete, football, basketball, and track. Larry Horn, 3.0. Three sports, football, baseball, and basketball. Kanea Wims, 3.6. Two sports athlete, basketball and track. Carmen Colley, 3.0. Tamia Miles, 3.6. Melissa Gore, 3.2. We're getting there. Christina Gillespie, 3.7. Kavana Smith, 3.2. Cicely Shaw, 3.1. Jasmine Albany, 3.3. Janice McNeil, 3.6. Also a three-sport athlete, tennis, volleyball, softball. We have Jennifer Logan, 3.0. Three-sport athlete, tennis, volleyball, and softball. These are the students I just named with the GPAs. Can we all give them a big hand of applause? I had one or two, might have been. I think Brittany Shreves was on there with a 3.2. If there's anyone else I didn't call, could you stand up? Did he? Josh Horn, 3.2. Is there anyone else? Steven Sanders, 3.3. Steven Sanders, 3.3. Good job. I just want to say to you student athletes, that you all, each and every one of you, have set the bar, and you know what it takes to be successful in the classroom as well as on the athletic fields. So like I say, I'd like to challenge each and every one of you to continue to keep working hard and doing the right things. Because I'm going to tell you, I know and you know it's not going to be easy. But if it was easy, instead of having you 68 names I just called, I have 500 plus student athletes that participate in sports this year. They all would be here as well. But you are special, and you know what it takes. So that's why I said I challenge each and every one of you to keep working hard, because you have the ability. Work hard, stay focused, and continue to set goals for yourself. Because just remember that in life, tragedy is not in life tragedy not to reach your goals, but the tragedy lies when you have no goals to reach. So I wish you all success and keep working hard. At this time, what I like to do right quick, I'd like to bring Coach Josh Baker down. He's the head JV basketball coach, and he's going to just talk about some of his student athletes who were with him this season.
Could I have the JV guys stand up? Larry Horn, Fillmore Bowles, Stephen Hawes, and Stephen Sanders in the back. Thank you. All right, you guys can be seated. They did go undefeated, and I've never been as proud of this team. Well, maybe last year's state championship team, but we were like 7-0, and I started getting on them that they weren't working hard enough. And most kids would say, "Coach, we're undefeated. We're working plenty hard." And I started telling them, "You got to start staying and putting in an extra hour of time." And they would start staying and put in an hour and a half of time. And Coach Oates will tell you throughout the whole varsity practice, they would be there shooting on the side rims. He'd have to kick them off so varsity could practice. They just continued to work and continued to work. And when it came time to close games, they knew they had worked harder than anyone else. And our theme for the year was to find a way. Just find a way to be successful on every possession, every game, the whole season. And my goal and my hope is that they carry that into life as well. And you've seen that almost all of them had at least a 3.5 GPA. They carried over into the classroom as well. And I hope that they always remember that when they put in the extra work, they're rewarded for that work, and that I hope they find a way to be successful in life as they go on. Thank you.
Good job, Coach Baker. Congratulations again. I think at this time, Coach Nate Oakes, he's the head men's varsity basketball coach. He has a video he wants to display.
We've been meaning to come to a presentation here, and when Mark asked me if I had anything to do, I thought tonight would be a great time to do it. I wish Mr. Bonham, Samuel Bonham, could be here. He actually helps us out with a lot of the video stuff, and then obviously Steve and Steve help us out as well. So what I brought was, and I'm going to kind of tell you how we use video to help our program out. We the main way that you guys could see how it's beneficial to us, and Steve, you can go ahead and play it if you want, is we, at the end of every game, we break down all the highlights, and like here's what I was going to say. And this is just some of the highlights from one player, Tommy Clark, this year. Steve, why don't you go ahead and click forward to the next one. Like what we've got is we do it for each individual player at the end of the games. Like there's Dominique. You can let this one roll for a little bit, and I don't know if you can keep the volume down at all. But we, what we do is that, see, a lot of colleges call and they want clips on our guys, and rather than just send out a full game, we put together highlights after every game. We add it to it. We do it all digitally, so it's all done on the computer. And in the last 2 years, we've gotten 7 kids full basketball scholarships, and I think a lot of it has to do with we're able to send colleges stuff that they can look at, and then they come in and visit. So like last year alone, we had 5 kids go on a full scholarship, and last year we used a lot more VHS stuff, where like this year we bought a DVD burner and able to burn DVDs. but Steve would copy stuff off for us. The colleges would give us their UPS or FedEx number, so it wouldn't be any cost to us except for the VHS tape or the DVD this year, and then we would drop it in the mail and send it. And I think it helps the kids tremendously. And then the other way that we use it, obviously we break down stuff so we can see what we're doing well and what we're not doing well. But then we also do scout stuff where we send out somebody to scout the games, and then we see scout stuff. So this tape's like about an hour long because we have every kid on here. And so I can send it out. They can flip through to see which player they want to see because different schools are looking at different kids and they watch it. Like for instance, I was at the Final Four this past weekend, championship games tonight, but all the college coaches come to the Final Four. That's where they have the basketball convention at. And I burned off like about 10 DVDs and I handed them out to different coaches that were asking me about kids, so I had them right there. One of them actually watched it on his laptop right there, and they want to take the kid down on a visit. So I think it helps our kids out a lot. It gets them looks. Ron Baker's on there somewhere. He's actually in here. It would be, I don't know how he's in there on one of them. So I don't know if you can hit the fast forward, Steve. Like we've got it set in different chapters. Hit it one more time. That was another one of our seniors. See if you can clip forward to where it says Ron Baker once. We can give Ron a little hope here. He's in there somewhere. I brought another one, but I'm not. There he is. Let this one roll right here. Ron stood up for what, a 3.5 or something? Yeah. Oh, something may be wrong. Actually, it's skipping a little bit, but they're all on there. We'll have to make sure we get one that's right. I think this may have got scratched because I had it with me down at the Final Four, and one of them actually dropped out of my pocket. So this may have been in that spot where it was. So that's what we wanted to talk about. It. So I wanted to give credit where credit's due, though, because Steve and Steve do a good job with the video, and then Mr. Bonham's a tremendous help taping all of our games. And we got a new digital camera. You can go ahead and stop it, Steve. I think it's scratched up a little bit. But that's how we've used video with our program. I know football's looking forward to using quite a bit of video. I know Coach Cooper's in here and he uses video with the wrestling program, but that's a little bit about how we've used the resource. I think we've got great resources here that a lot of high schools don't have with our equipment, and we like to put it to use to help the kids out.
Thank you, Coach. Before I turn over the mic, I did ask a few of my coaches over at the high school to come over. They took time out of their busy schedule as well to come over. And I'd like to introduce to you board members some of the new coaches we just hired here recently. First, starting off with our new head football coach, Matt Laddick, former student here at Romulus High School. We have his assistant, Coach Karanowski. His son is Joe, the one I mentioned, 3-point-something GPA. I have in the back Coach Cooper. He's our wrestling head varsity coach as well as assistant football varsity coach here. Coach Cooper. Coach Cooper is also a teacher over at the high school. We have Coach Mumau, one of the assistant varsity coaches on the football squad as well. Are there any other coaches here? Okay, I think that's it. But again, I would just like to finish and say thank you, athletes, for taking the time to come out, but more important, for doing the right things, achieving the right grades, being successful on the field as well as in the classroom. And I wish you all the best of luck. And like I said, I challenge each and every one of you to continue to keep working hard. And thank you, coaches, as well, for coming out. And finally, I'd like to say thank you, board, for giving us the opportunity to come here tonight to honor our student athletes with high GPAs and so forth. Thank you.
This is really what athletics is about. It's not just about going out and winning games. It's doing it with fine young people who are doing well in school. Athletics is really great for a very, very small number who can make a living with it somewhere down the line. But it certainly is really, really great for those who are going to go to school, become a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, a pilot, whatever it might be. The team effort, the academics that you got going with it are just tremendous. And I'm so proud to be able to see so very, very many of our young folks doing so very, very well. And you're all a great credit to yourselves, your family, your school, and to Romulus as a community. We're very, very proud of all of you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Since there's so many of them, can I do a quick picture?
Yeah, sure.
Just pause for a second. Kids, if you can take your jackets off, you have girls go up in front, boys up on the risers there, and real quick, come up and we can do this, okay? We'll start with the girls.
Ron Dick's kids, 4-1 and 4-0.
Okay, we need some of the taller girls go back.
It's funny, as Ron was in high school, maybe 6 foot tall. He grew all that time when he was in the Navy. At least, yeah.
Okay, hello. Usual treatment. 1, 2, 3, and you're in, okay?
This is what it's all about.
I was talking to a guy Friday night who was the former chief of police in Wayne, and he coached at Wayne High School. Very highly of Matt.
Joe?
He knew him from Northville and stuff.
Yeah.
He's big, I mean, he's big.
Thank you very much for coming, and you're certainly free to leave at this point.
No, too boring.
No, you're talking about here.
So
They
he
don't know
was,
what's this.
and then there was Cruz. Because he didn't make the shirt this time.
It's hiding back there.
You can't see me?
Oh, my
God. I'm
going on a diet tomorrow.
It's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. Always Ed.
Look at everybody.
You're going to dig yourself out of that
Gotta
hole.
wait.
Yeah, I understand.
You look tired.
That's what Cheryl said, that I look tired. Look red on me.
You're so tired.
No, we had a sleepover for 14 and 12-year-olds
Oh, you're tired.
Saturday night.
You haven't recouped. Then you lost your hour yesterday.
Right. And I thought I made them go to bed at 4. It's fine.
Okay, cafeteria equipment award and truck and so forth, sure.
Sure. Tonight, the Finance Committee met preceding this meeting, that's why we were a little late. And I brought to their attention, you have it in your packet, I believe, as well, several items that we are looking at doing to complete our Phase 2 of the cafeteria equipment purchases. There were a few questions in relation to some of the items on there, and I'm going to go back to get answers so that I can report to the Finance Committee and bring most of those items back to you at the next meeting. The one item that we do want to move forward with tonight is the purchase of the delivery truck. And we did get quotes from 3 different companies. One of the problems that we were experiencing is that to order a vehicle, it takes 10 to 16 weeks to get. We only have 13 weeks to the end of June, so we're pressed for time as far as ordering is concerned. Luckily, we were able to find 2 vendors that had these vehicles in stock or at a factory that could be delivered 4 to 6 weeks. One of them is local, the other one is out of state. The local vendor is Wink Chevrolet, and they have a 2005 model 16 feet in stock for $39,750. And it does have a lift gate and all the other options that we are requiring on the vehicle. The other truck is a 2006. It's only a 14-foot, but it is in stock, and it's $41,550. I'm recommending that the board approve the purchase of the truck not to exceed $42,000. What that will do will allow us to go to our first option, which is Wink Chevrolet locally for $39,750. If the vehicle happens not to be available between now and tomorrow, we would have them proceed with the second vehicle in the amount of $41,550.
Okay, are there any questions of the board before we take a motion, Mrs. Buckley?
I just had one question. The second vehicle, is that also from Wink Chevrolet?
That is from McCormick Chevrolet out of Indiana.
Okay, and what is the difference between the two?
The two, one is a larger, the length of the vehicle is 2 inches longer, the one that's locally here in Dearborn. The other, so it's a 16-foot. The other one that's out of state in Indiana is a 14-foot. Our priority is to have the 16-foot vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions of the board?
Excuse me, the first vehicle, what year was that one?
It's a 2005, so there is a year difference. The vehicle's not used, though.
That was my next question.
It is new.
For that price, it better be.
Excuse me, one more question. So the 2005 would still have full warranties,
Yes.
same as the 2006 would?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any other questions of the board members? I just have one question because the recommendation that we have in front of us is for a lot more than just the truck. So Joel, how can we break this down? Can we do just the truck even
Well,
though?
this motion
It's
is
just for the
For the
truck.
truck.
Okay, so what we have in front of us, just go ahead and void this out.
No, just go ahead, you discuss the truck, pass a motion, or make a motion to purchase the vehicle as per the recommendation.
Okay,
It
can,
must be for the truck.
okay, can I get a motion to approve the recommendation for the one truck at this time?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the recommendation of, on the one truck that was brought up by our finance director.
Okay.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Buckley, supported by Mr. Kuderick. Are there any questions?
Shouldn't we add into that not to exceed the 42,000, was it?
That's what I'm recommending, so that it allows
That was
us.
in the recommendation.
Okay.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to add not to exceed 42,000.
Okay.
Okay. Remotion by Mrs. Buckley, supported by Mr. Kuderick. Are there any additional questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The rest of the stuff you're going to bring back at a future meeting?
Yeah, the next meeting. We just have 2 questions.
Okay.
Or they do.
Okay. The next item on the agenda was the Hell Creek Elementary trip to Cedar Point for is it the Safety Patrol, did I read? The Safety Patrol
Yeah,
Committee,
Safety
Student
Patrol and
Council?
Student Council.
Okay,
Yes.
can we get a motion to approve this field trip to Cedar Point Amusement Park for June 3rd for the Romulus Elementary Safety Patrol and Student Council at no cost to the district?
That's right. Like a make a motion, I'll be on that trip as a parent volunteer.
Support.
Yeah.
Motion by Mrs. White, supported by Mrs. Buckley. Are there any questions about the trip to Cedar Point? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda would be the communications and expressions from the public. I don't have anything in front of me here, so we'll move on to the next item agenda, which is items of interest from the superintendent. Joel?
I already did that by making the announcement that our alternative school is the Michigan School of the Year for Alternative Education. There will be a award given on, I believe, the 27th of April in Midland or Saginaw. There'll be a meeting up there with the information out to you on that. We just got the notification today. We don't have details at this point in terms of time and place. But that's really, really great news. We just met last week, so we haven't accumulated a lot of requirements. I will need an executive session for a few moments tonight.
Okay, do we have any questions or concerns of the board members tonight?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Buckley.
Superintendent Carr, did you check on the concession stand for me?
Yes, and if it hasn't been completed, it soon will be.
Okay.
Or if there's some leakage, it's where the old building hooks into the new building. They're having issues with the difference between the two buildings, and then there were ceiling tile that were down and need to be replaced, and that's all. If it hasn't been completed, it soon will be. Mr. Morris has been working on it, trying to get it squared away. They've got a problem where the two buildings meet, though, at that point, so hopefully it can be cured for a long period of time. This may become one of these recurring issues because of some of the movement that occurs that's different between the old building and the new building.
Okay, maybe we need to move some of our stuff around in that storage room too, so, okay,
The weight is probably pushing that one side of the building down. No, I'm just kidding.
okay.
It's all them hot
Thank
dogs
you.
they have
Yeah,
in
hot dogs are
that pizza.
heavy load. Yes, it's being taken.
Thank you.
The only thing that I wanted to bring back to the board was we discussed at a meeting that we had last week about when we were going to do our visits. Is that something we can discuss in executive session, or do we have to discuss that in open session? How does that work, Joel?
Well,
We need to come up with a date and a time on when we're going to do these facility
Let's go into
visits.
executive session, because there's some other items relative to that, and then you can make you can discuss that item when we return from executive session.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn into executive? Oh. Let's go.
She has a
One thing, no, I don't have a question,
Sorry.
but,
Huh?
comment. Because I forgot last week to mention it, that I seen the Merriman Elementary School on Channel 7 in the morning for the shout out they do, where the weatherman comes in and they say good morning and everything, and I just wanted them to know that people are actually up that early and they are watching, and they did a great job. So, but now I have a few questions, but I'll direct them towards Sherry later on.
Madam Chair, I have
Yes,
one
Ms.
other
Buckley.
thing. I just want to remind everyone of the benefit for Ed Horn tomorrow at the high school. It's at 6 o'clock, so please come out and support Ed and his family.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cheryl, for that reminder. Okay, are there any other questions or concerns of board members? Okay, at this time, can I get a motion to adjourn into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go to executive session.
Roll call.
Motion by Mr. Minkiewicz, supported by Mr. Kuderik. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mrs. Buckley?
Yes.
Mr. Kuderik?
Yes.
Ms. Lanasi?
Yes.
Mrs. White?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
President Prayer?
Yes.
Mr. Minkiewicz also votes yes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we reconvene.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Buckley, supported by Mr. Kuderik, that we reconvene. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Buckley?
Yes.
Mr. Kuderik?
Yes.
Ms. Lanasi?
Yes.
Ms. White?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
President Prayer?
Yes.
Mr. Minkiewicz also votes yes. And we're reconvening at 8:07.
Okay, just a quick announcement that we have determined we will make our visits to the two districts in which we are seeking candidate for superintendent on April 27th. That is a Thursday. We will, I actually need a motion at this time to call a meeting to order on April 27th, that Thursday, so that we can meet here at the board office at 8 a.m. to do our visitation. So if I can get a motion at that time, so we could move forward with that.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we have a special meeting on April 27th at 8 a.m. and then disband out to the appropriate districts for site visits for the new superintendent.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Kuderik, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We should also mention at this time, should we mention who we've selected to go? What we've done is, it's going to be all 7 board members, a representative from each union within the district, which is a total of, is that 5 union
It's 5
representatives, a parent from the community, and an administrator from the board office. Is that right? Joel, did we cover everybody? Am I missing somebody?
I don't think, did we say an administrator from?
Not
the board?
administrator, but a representative, an employee from the board office, yeah.
Representative from central office.
Okay, other than that, we caught everybody. Okay, so that leaves us roughly 13, 14 members going to our on-site visits. Are there any questions?
No, I just have a question, not in relationship to this, but in the information that we received regarding the contacts. Did this come from MASB? Because we were supposed to have a list that had a variation of different contacts, but this does not.
I think
I
this
thought it was
came from
just board
Carol, because she
members.
was just gonna get us board members, so
Right,
this is
but he
just what.
said, he did
Oh, did
provide
he?
it, because he had said, wait on him, and he would do,
He provided the list that we have of board members. He was
Okay.
frustrated by the Detroit list because they all gave the same phone number, which is an office at the Detroit school center.
Oh,
Okay.
school office or something.
If you keep in mind.
No, this is-
Detroit people have only been on the board
It's a Detroit
for
one.
a very short period of time.
Yeah, they probably won't even know.
Yeah, we met
right,
one
and that's
Tom and I
what we
in
had,
Lansing.
he had said that he would give us a variety. Because I do, now that you see that, Joe, everybody has the
Same
same
phone
work
number.
phones in both of the candidates. They have the same contact.
I think there
Some
must
of
be an
them-
error. Oh, no, you're looking at the front page.
Some of them have home phone numbers from the other district. They do have home phone numbers
They
and
both have
email
work phones.
addresses,
They all
actually.
have the same work phones.
Well, they're all the same
Yeah,
phone number.
we probably all
But I
would
think
too.
you see
the
home
Romulus.
phones on one list.
Right,
Right.
no numbers, so now what?
No, that's just on the one candidate, Naima.
This is
You're
the
looking
one
at the one
candidate.
candidate.
Right, so how you gonna contact?
You're not.
The information was not available.
You're
I
gonna-
talked to Pete briefly before coming into the meeting today, and he said that he did everything that he could to possibly get that information. It wasn't listed on any websites. He could not dig that information out for us. My suggestion would be actually to, let's call the number that's listed, the one phone number that they did give us. There's actually one board member who they did list a home phone number and an email address. Why that one, I'm not sure, but, he may even be able to give us phone numbers for the rest of the board members. I know if somebody called me, I have a lot of your contact information I could provide. So just, it looks like we're going to have to do a little bit of footwork here, and that's okay. We can surely do that, but
A lot of times, situations like this, they have their own voicemail within the building. So we may be able to call there, and they may have their own personal voicemail that you can ask for and leave a message in.
you mean to do a search by name, possibly?
I'll call you back.
Madam
Okay.
Chair,
Yes.
now we are gonna call the folks that are on this list ourselves, but. not-
Yes,
Okay,
I think it's
here's-
essential that we,
I just got a comment on this. Wouldn't it be, to me, I think it would be good ideas if people in them positions currently call their
Right.
respective position, like you would call the president, Mr. Minkiewicz would call the secretary, Mrs. Roscoe, and then me and Naima, me and Mrs. Lanassi and Mrs. Buckley can split up the trustees there. and- This way we're not
Mr.
all calling
Kudrick,
the same
that's a very good idea. We'll go ahead and do that, and then that way, the only thing that we have to split up is between the bottom. Does that sound like a good idea?
Where's
Ken,
that
do you
list?
agree with that? Do you mind calling all of the secretaries from the other districts?
Do you want me to take the first
No,
one?
because there's only
I
one
got it.
secretary.
Take the guy,
There's
you
only
take the
one
woman.
from the
You take
one
the woman.
candidacy, yeah.
second.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to, the second list is much
do with my
larger, and we
list?
can go ahead and split that up. Do you wanna just go right on down the line? Cheryl, do you wanna take the first one, Mrs. Buckley?
Well,
Yes.
wait a
Mr.
minute.
Kudrick?
Hold on
Okay,
a
which
minute.
one now?
What sheet are you doing? You doing the Detroit sheet?
I'm doing
The
Virginia.
Dearborns.
Well, okay.
The Dearborn is already done, because I.
Okay.
Yes, already done. We already take, we already done.
Dearborn, we've already taken care of. Dearborn's all
What
set.
about
We're doing
on
the
Detroit?
Detroit.
Going through.
So let's go right down the list. Mrs. Buckley, can you take the first one?
Yes, I
Mr.
can.
Well,
Kudrick?
here's my question, though. If we're gonna use the same phone number, couldn't one person call? There's, must be a secretary or something there, and just give
And
them the
leave a
names of the
voicemail for
people.
everybody?
Except
And
for
have-
that Kinlaw.
I don't know that I follow you, Mr. Minkiewicz.
Well, why have all of us call this same phone number? We're probably gonna
Because
get
we're
the same
asking for,
secretary.
we're asking for different people.
Yeah,
We're all gonna ask
but
to
you're
speak.
probably gonna get a secretary, right? And couldn't you,
And then I'm gonna ask for whoever I'm assigned to, and then we'll speak directly. This way, we're getting in touch with the physical person that's on the list.
May even be in there during the day.
Let's go. Mrs. Buckley, would you like to take the first one? Mr. Kudrick, can you take the second one?
Yes.
Mrs. Lanassi, can you take the third one?
Yep.
Mrs. White, can you take the fourth one?
Yes.
Mrs. Roscoe, will you take the fifth one?
Yep.
I will take the sixth one. Ken, that leaves you with, let me.
Carla Scott?
Yep. And Ken, okay, and then we'll start back. Mrs. Buckley, can you take the one after Scott?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Tom,
Yep.
Betty,
Joyce again.
Gills,
Joyce.
Paula?
Gills,
Oh, Joyce?
yes. And Mrs. White, can you take Paula? Okay. Okay, are there any other questions of the board members?
If anybody has a hard time having time to do anything, you can let me know. I can try to help out with the other calls, because I know some of you guys have two on the list.
Okay.
So just let me know. Or you can always leave my number too, in my work number during the day. They can always call me at work.
And if somebody does get a hold of the Detroit office and gets all the phone numbers for the board members, try to contact them, that way we're not all calling back asking the same thing.
Sure, I'll
Okay.
just
If they happen to be lucky enough.
type your spreadsheet and fax it to your.
Okay, at this time, if there are no more questions or concerns of board members, can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
I would like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. White, supported by Mrs. Buckley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Meeting adjourned. See you.